Hello, welcome back. Last time I learned several things, most important of which is that behind these doors here in the pellet station are hallways that are completely invisible when the doors are open. Like, look how perfectly this obscures them. So, you know, this is the doors in the closed state. This is the doors in the open state, depending on your perspective. So one of these passages goes downward, therefore the steamer thingy I can lower will perhaps be visible at the bottom. Let's just close it up, put it down, and go down there and see if I can get an explanation for what this thing is and why it's here. And also, the other hallway leads somewhere else, to another building that's elsewhere on this island. So I'm going to go down first. There's that classic click input being eaten. It's going to happen a whole lot here. Alright, new place. New things. I'm going to go real slowly and look around in case there's, like, side stuff to see. I think that action, closing the door there, was basically the thing I've been talking about that I needed to do to unlock the rest of the game. Had to find that silly hiding place. So here's a big rotating thing. Alright, is that an eye? No, it's a keyhole? Maybe. Not something I can get a closer look at. Alright, there's a rotating orb here. This is my pellet's not here. Oh, there's a... one of these is different. Poke. There's a gold one there. Ah! I clicked bad. Okay, so if I bring the, like, master key of the island here... Yeah, okay, so notice how that floor is different. Basically, like, there's an elevator key somewhere, and I can use it to maybe raise or lower this? I don't know about that. Seems more likely it's just going to stop this thing spinning, and then I can interact with that gold part of it and do something, maybe. Anyway, so it very much seems like there's nothing to do here right now. And that's Riven. Find a new place, and there's nothing there. Some vague hints that there might be something someday, but there never actually is. There's a pipe coming up here. This is the one that... no... Oh... I thought this was the one that connected to the... Well, I can't see it from here. Whatever. Here's a wire. Different kind of transport. I can't look directly at it, but it goes into the rocks there. Yeah, this pipe just goes... Yeah, okay. That goes to where the lever is with the fan and stuff. I can even hear the fan from here. Or maybe I'm hearing this motor. This is the fan motor. That's what I'm hearing. Fan is off. Does this only go... Yeah, okay. So fan's either on or off. So fan off. That's the fan cable. Why do I want to turn off that fan, I would like to know. It still sounds like it's running. Okay, I can indeed crawl in here now. Whoa. What am I seeing? Okay, I'm still inside the pipe. There's another fan elsewhere. Here's a 5-pointed thing. Oh, I can go. Alright, there's still yet another way open to me, but I found something that feels important. It's a book, maybe. I thought you couldn't make those on this island anymore. Alright, some date. I can compare those with the date in my inventory book and see when this took place. The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. This is not the easiest handwriting to read. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimmer of a connection. It is frustrating to expend so much effort creating a blank book only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. There are days when the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of these failed attempts. Right. There's a picture of this, burning the failed books. Okay. The further I Uline, U-L-I-N-E, that's what I see. What letter is that? Is that an L? What does an L look like? That's an F, so that looks like an F. Okay, the further I ufine each element. Refine? Let's assume that's refine. The further I refine each element, the formulations of the inks and papers, the physical dimensions of the books, the more I realize? Let's assume that's realize. Why does your Z have a giant tail hanging down, though? Like, what kind of Z is that? That's nonsense. That the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like these that I despair. Without access to Denis, my long-term goals may never be accomplished. So you're writing this as if it's Dunny, the same place as where Atris is. So it probably is just the spelling changed between the two games or something. Nevertheless, these are avenues of research which remain. There are avenues of research which remain to be explored. Can this be the only page in here that's written by Gan? No. All right, some time later. I am discontinuing regular observations of the stars beneath the fissure, although I've been able to track the dark cloud-like formation that migrate through the star field and have proven that their paths are cyclical. Without proper instrumentation, it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the S-S-U-R-E, fissure. I was trying to figure out if that's Fisher or Fishers. It's just like, that's a word. Just right. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's writing. Cursive. Why is it like this? And it's italic cursive, too. Has remained unaltered since it first appeared. Okay, I need to read this again. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure. Don't rest your drink on your book as you're writing it, Gan. Come on now. Put it next to it. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link, but the apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed. I'm going to have to read this again because I'm just like straining to make the sounds of the letters here. Why is this written this way? One more time. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces. What does this mean? Matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces. Much like a link, but the apparent physical contradiction surrounding this juncture. Contradictions. Defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure just appeared suggests a vacuum as one might expect in space. Yet my early experimentations revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere. That Atris and Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel, but without knowing its true nature, I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. Maintenance on the steam vent caps completed that date. I know where one of these is. I think, next to the Skytram at the main island. That big round thing. I am extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the construction to have been true to the Diener designs of my memory. Another example of the superiority of the Diener technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of steam power on this island. I have noticed that. Okay, steam caps are a different thing, maybe. Do I know where this is? Double doors. Perhaps the building I came through here with the vent that I crawled through. That's the only double door building I know, but I'm not sure about this part. That's like rising out of the ground. That's not double doors. That's something else. This is just a steam pipe with a cap on it, but then valves that can redirect it, etc. As with many of my views over the years, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. I have recently begun to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Their escape? Catherine's here and Atris has never been here. What escape are you talking about? Do I know for sure Atris has never been here? This is a different story than I understood. I think I inferred that, and maybe I inferred incorrectly. Certainly, by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here quite effectively, but I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Is that the mist book that I found? Maybe. Much better to destroy it than to risk the possibility of its falling into unknown hands. Also, had they foreseen the creation of the fissure, they would surely have thought that the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable for her homeworld. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, this is most certainly what would have happened, for the villagers were far too frightened to even approach the vortex without my urging. I hold on to the belief that it was an unintended consequence of their writing for another reason as well. I prefer to think that my son had meant for this age to be merely a prison for me rather than a death sentence. Okay, fair. Optimism. So Gan has some hope for his son. The construction of the imagers has proceeded without fault. Yeah, okay, I've experienced your imagers, a couple of them at least. It is interesting to see how easily I've been able to adopt the Diener technology to mimic that of the Ahmad? I don't know, it's a name. That's probably an M? A-M-A-D is what I see there. I don't know if that's right. I'm just having to infer what these words are from context. Like when there's something a little out of place, that's why I paused so much. Like seal. I had no context clues for that. Had to puzzle it out. In some ways, the similarities between the two cultures was striking. This is so much work. I wonder if perhaps there had been communication or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times. Maybe Keta's people were even, K-E-T-A is what I see there. Seems accurate, that's fairly unambiguous. Keta's people were even descendants of the Diener. It pleases me to think so. Okay, here's Imager that was operated by Crank in the schoolhouse. Here's a crank. Here's internals of the thing, maybe? How it works, I guess? Sure. Note, it's possible that if I were somehow able to supply the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal cap generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adapt the fire marbles? Fire marbles. Perhaps I could adapt the fire marbles. I have been cataloging the natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the Diener's preoccupation with fire. So here you're saying this as if it's people, not a place. I guess it's both. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5, not fire, 5. Does this say 5 or fire? The 5 marbles? Okay, so it goes up, then over, then down, then turns into the E. Goes up, then down, then up, and the E is separate. Preoccupation with 5, the number 5. I think this is fire and this is 5? I cannot tell. Are those the same word? How would I know? Could be either. It was very clear to me that the number 5 had a special significance to the Diener society. From the ancient heraldic emblems of the ruling elite to the humble homes of the commoners, it was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the texts that I used to compose this age. Obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the texts that I used to compose this age. Further proof, please be the end here, that through their art the Diener masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many have mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. Okay, right, yeah, so this is Gan's position. Atris thinks the opposite. While most of my constructions have been based on Diener designs, I see now that the ones I have imbued with the power of 5, or fire, that's 5, the power of 5, are clearly the most beautiful, the most perfect, and I believe the most structurally sound. Oh no, there's more. Oh, eyes. I am still attempting to determine how the Diener color symbology reflects this superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6-color system, I am concerned that there has to be a deeper connection to 5. I will continue to investigate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need to look at the all the eyeballs. I thought all the eyeballs I saw were this shape. This one has a vertical pupil. This one's closed. This one is fully open. This one's rotated 90 degrees. This one's rotated 90 degrees and closed. I read the word color earlier. Is that accurate? C-O-L-O-R. I think so. Is that an R? Colon system. I think that's an R. Color symbology. Pretty sure that's color. I don't understand what it means in context, though. But what else could that be other than color? I've finally made a breakthrough. I have succeeded in modifying the fire marbles. I still think that's fire. Like, there's distinctly a connection between those two. Yeah, like this is the same shape used here for what I'm assuming is the R in color. So yeah, that's fire. Fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I have linked it to a new world. I have linked to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but is okay. So Gan did manage to escape, but just not to where Atris is, just to a whole new age. It is a harsh and desolate age, but is nonetheless well suited for my purposes, and so I have designated it as what number you suppose this is? So, from what I know about the number system, the left half of this would be 9, and the right half of it would be 8. 98th, but that's n, so that has to end with a 2. Hold on, this is a base 10 number system, though. So if this is 2 digits, the 9 in the second digit means 11 times 9, not 10 times 9. So 99 plus 8 gives you 107. 107 and... No, this needs to somehow end with a 2 for it to be... Unless that's not something second. Like the KI looking one would be 3 without this horizontal line here. Well, this is my first encounter with a 2-digit number. So apparently I just don't know how to read it yet. Okay, so there's a number here. I don't know if it's important, but maybe this can be used as a context clue for later when I need to read larger numbers. I only know the 1-digit ones. Anyway, by studying it closely, I believe I will eventually be able to create a more appropriate age for us to settle on. For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there, in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without distraction. Gan may not be here on the island. He might be in his new desolate age. Okay, got it. There's more. I must admit that I am proud of my work. To think that in such primitive conditions I have accomplished in 29 years... Hey, you wrote it in English this time. What it took... Yeah, English numbers. Sorry, you wrote it in Arabic this time. Accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Diener centuries to achieve. Note, repair outer wear for work on this world. The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. Some later date. I have begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven with my new office on number I can't read. The Survey Guild has finally completed the site location for each island. According to my exact specifications, and installation of the domes is underway at last. Domes, I've seen one here. Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then, and I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. Hey, check it out, it's this diagram. That's a different diagram than the one I know. It's almost the same, actually. I think this is just rotated one step. Like, yeah, enter here. These are unrotated, but in the one I saw, this was here, this was here, this was here, this was here, and this was here. Yeah, okay, so this is the same thing I saw, but rotated by 1/5 counterclockwise compared to that. With these still maintaining their same up orientation. Okay. So this has to do with transportation, you're saying? Hey, check it out. Numbers I can read, maybe. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances. Rebels. I saw one of those. One of them dragged off the man who tried to steal my prison book. I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. Oh, check it out. 5 digits. Numbers I can read. Okay, I can read these, right? Numbers are 9. I can infer that this is 14. This one is... Oh no, I can't infer this one. I've never seen that shape. So this is like 3 rotated counterclockwise once. Okay, 9, 14... Okay, so 9 being a combination of 5, which is just the horizontal line, and 4, which is the hockey stick here. Therefore, I can infer that this is 14 because it's a combination of 10, which is just this bottom arc, and 4, which is the hockey stick. But then this. I have no components of this. I have one that's rotated differently. So if rotation is involved, maybe I can understand this. This one, okay, so that's a combination of 2 with this arc and the unknown number here. I mean, maybe I can deduce the unknown number if it's the only thing I need to deduce. So then that's 3 combined with the unknown number. Okay, so I need to know more about the number system before I can input this into the place where I need 5 digits. And how will I input it? Just press each one in turn that number of times, probably? Like 9 presses on the first one, 14 presses on the second one, unknown press... Okay, so at least I can deduce... Okay, I can take an educated guess here. So if this is used to construct 14 with 10 plus 4, then with the numbers I know, numbers up to 19 are representable. Therefore, this is at least 20. And if I were to say this were 20... I mean, it could be 30. It could, wouldn't 30 be like... Well, you can't do... Yeah, okay, 30 would be like 20 and 10, probably. So 30 would probably be this with another arc down there. Let's assume this is 20. And this is 22. It could be something else, but that's the lowest plausible guess with what I currently know. I like that. Okay. So then this sequence would be 9, 14, 20, 22, 23. I'm going to write that down. How was it? 9, 14, 20, 22, 23. All right, I'm going to try inputting that and see if I'm right. That is a neat little deduction puzzle, if it's what I think it is. If it's not, then I don't know if it's neat yet. But if it's what I think it is, then I feel real good about that deduction. Date. I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher. Note, discuss security with each guild master. No problems expected from the maintainers, educators, and surveyors. Question the bookmakers and builders more closely. Today I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership... Whoa. The rebels... Catherine leads the rebels. Okay. The rebels on the Black... M-O-I-E-T-Y? Moiety? The rebels on the Black Moiety, as the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them. Moiety? Is there something else that could be? Okay, this letter here, this E, is the one I'm least sure about, but that sure looks like an E to me. I'm mentally going through the whole alphabet to see if there could be a better fit here. Moisty? No, that's not what an S looks like. Not coming up with one. I think this says moiety. All right. Have attained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics, and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them, playing upon their shared superstitions. The villagers are certainly susceptible to this form of coercion, especially given of late the rebels' increasing acts of vandalism and theft. Okay, this might be why the villagers are so suspicious of me. They think I'm with the rebels or something. The YTRAM, the Y-tram traps? Itram? The Itram traps have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest. No shortage of poison for their darts this season. They have poison darts. Good to know. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract for my pipe, one that is smoother than any of these others from recent years. Sure, use it as a deadly neurotoxin or just smoke it for fun. Why not? Chemical analysis of... I mean, that's not out of place at all. That totally makes sense. Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I am unaware. Perhaps a mine or an uncharted island. Okay, I recognize this. This is like one of the knives they shoved in the lever to jam it open. And also there was one of these next to the gate I could crawl under with the third entrance to the Pentagon. Note, most of the knives have been found on the south side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. South side of the village. Do I know which way is south? I don't think I do. The fact that they leave these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. Oh geez, this just goes on. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. My previous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures, I am uncertain. I have nearly finished writing the... Now this I can read, 99th age. And the TH makes sense there. So there's a number I just don't know how to read yet. Hold on, can I... I'll page it back in a moment and reparse it. The 99th age, and I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to. Yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible that it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of the... Right, the one that doesn't make any sense. 98th. Shouldn't that be 98th? See, this adds up for 99th, but like the th suffix is the most common for any number, so that could easily be something else. So this is probably not 99th if this is not 98th. Could I have my 8 and 7 mixed up? What if this is 97th? Because this is 8 and I have something else for 7. No, it's ND, not TH. No, this has to end in 2. Never mind. Age have thus far proven inconclusive. Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age. If so, it would almost certainly be Atris's doing. I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behavior of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate. leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I am imagining a motile unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water whose combined effect, via surface tension, a stronger force, causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Oh, is that why that big tank of water is able to boil so quick? Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example a period of extended boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature and its possible uses. Okay? An exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers these flawed linking books, much like my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Oh, so you need something much larger to power your books. I see. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her, obviously with an explicit Denis schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I'd had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of ages and no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Denis. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. Which is what exactly? What do you want to do again? I don't think we know. I don't know what this is. That doesn't ring any bells. Okay, final page, finally. Why was I paging back? Oh, I wanted to look at that number again, but it appeared again on the same page, so that doesn't matter. Whoa. Okay. Anyway, okay, that was some good reading. Neat. Information. Gan's perspective. I don't think I'm going to bother comparing dates to Atris's book. That probably won't give me anything of relevance. Well, I can look at the teapot. And the fruits. Doesn't help me. What's this? Writing instrument, additional teapot or mug or something. A spear. Unknown. Maybe this is his smoking device. Okay, and that's how I came in here. Hey, is that a... Okay, it's just another piece of paper. Okay, here's an eyeball with a 3 on it. Well, yeah, 3, sure. 3 in Roman numerals, but in this script, that's 1. Okay, I found eyeball number 1. This is clearly not connected to anything, so it's probably not a sequence of interaction thing. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating but anchored near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently and quite mysteriously been replaced with a new one overnight. Okay, so just because the one is here doesn't mean it's not also where it originated. So like this was pulled out of its socket, but it regenerated itself at the socket or something, maybe. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the villagers' island, but have paid them little notice until now. Tomorrow I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. Okay. Swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating but anchored near the entrance to the bay. Hold on, so that was an entrance to the bay. Isn't this talking about that little spot that I was looking at, like the gauge on the rock as I was calling it? but I thought it might have been an eyeball socket that didn't have an eyeball in it, so this is where the sphere went. Swim out to it. But no, appeared to be floating, but anchored near the entrance to the bay. That description doesn't quite line up. Okay, so other than writings, is there stuff to see in this room? I don't think I can even look at the rest of the room. Oh, maybe I can. I can, okay, just not from there. Alright, so there's a whole office here, like lots of stuff going on. I'm going to be happy with just having gotten that information for today. There's also another entire zone I can explore. Alright, things have finally opened up. Stuff is happening. I have a plausible guess for... Oh, check it out, it's one of these buttons. Plausible guess for the code for the microscope. Several more desks to look at. This room is, of course, pentagonal. Why would it not be? Why does that place vent into here? With some effort, I could probably parse which direction that was venting. I don't think that's particularly important, though. I don't know which way this fan turned. I could have observed which way the other one turned and then looked at its blades and figure out if this is venting that way or this way. Let's assume it's not really important, though. Alright, so information was gained. More importantly, places to go were gained. And I'm going to take more look at this room next time. I'll see you then.